the more curious question is, where are you? You're out
I'm
on
at
the.
the I'm at the park.
Oh, you playing pickleball?
Yeah, I got a big national tournament in Sacramento on Saturday.
Oh, so you got to prep.
Getting some reps in.
Are you are you gonna win it? Or are we talking?
I hope so. It sounds like a lot of people sandbag. They kind of play down divisions. You know what I mean? They play to try and win. So we're gonna have some good competition.
Nice. Is it a doubles partner?
Yeah.
Who's your partner?
John Legg. I don't know if you played with him out here or not,
No.
but he's pretty good.
For those of you who don't know, Cam took me out to play pickleball twice, and I was very below average, but I tried
I
my best.
I thought you were good. A little tennis background helps.
Yeah, but yeah, I could tell you guys were taking it easy.
Today I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about like nutrition and what you do for nutrition and what you plan on doing for food when you're in Africa.
Ooh, that is a very interesting question because for nutrition, normally I'm pretty healthy, right? So I'll do all my own cooking. I'll buy fresh. I'll eat vegetables, but also like lean meats and no all types of meats. But mostly I'm doing the cooking myself. But when I'm traveling, I can usually get away with that in like Spain, Italy. But when I go to Africa, it's the level of nutrition in the places that I've lived in, more specifically like Tanzania, Kenya, those types of places. It's like rice, oil, plain noodles. Like it's a lot of breads, not a lot of proteins.
Mm.
So I'm the last time I was there, I lost 36 pounds
Whoa, you
from
don't have a lot of weight to lose.
yeah, from like this right here. I lost 36 pounds.
Wow.
And I'm a little nervous about that because I'll be burning a lot of calories every day and I'll be walking and I'll have to pretty much eat whatever people give me.
I see. Interesting. That makes sense. And I do think like for me especially, but I think a lot of people will be just interested in like what local cuisine what you can get a hold of there and stuff. And like that stuff's always interesting to me. Is food stuff is a huge like market in like video content.
Oh, absolutely. I did a YouTube channel for fun a couple years back with an Egyptian guy, and we did some traveling in Egyptian. And our most popular video is "What is Egyptian like?" And we had a meal called kosheri, and it was like chickpeas, fried onions, like tomato sauce, a bunch like lemon, lime. I'm also forgetting the different stuff, but it was very heavy, and that was my main feeling about when I lived in Egypt the first time was like every meal was heavy, oil, everything was thick. And so when I just got back from Morocco, and when I went there with my parents, I anticipated it being similar because they're geographically not too far apart.
Okay.
But it was completely different. It was like a lot more seasoned, fresh meats, and it was just yeah, I liked it a lot better, if we're being honest. But I'm excited to get like the tour of each locale and see what they're cooking. I've already had a couple reach out to me on social media offering to host me as I go by, so I'll get some home cooked meals.
Very cool.
And the goal is to do it all on $5 or $10 a day.
Okay. Cool. And then have you thought about doing like the survivor route, like trying to like put as much weight on as you can so you've got something to lose before you go out there?
Kind of, but also I'm poor now, so it's weird. So I have two jobs. I'm teaching elementary school long term subbing. So like some days I'm kindergarten, some days I'm fourth grade. Today I was dual language learners, so I got uh, basically Hispanic people that just came from uh, like they're new to the country and they need help. I was their teacher today, and that was fun. But then I also have the second job where I'm working nights and weekends and that's a trip. But one of the ways that I'm saving money is I'm eating there, and I haven't had fast food in like 10 years. And so it just wrecked me for like the first 2 days of eating like cheesy gordita crunches and Crunchwrap Supremes, and they unveiled like a new menu, and so I was there, and the bosses were like, "You want to try these 6 things?" So I was like, "Yeah, sure, it's free." Oh man, like so. So I'll probably put on a little bit of weight that way, and I'll do the best I can, but it's like it's a trade-off because you don't feel great afterward, and I'm still doing these 100 burpees. every day to combat my bipolar depression and to prepare to walk the continent, and mostly to like, and a lot of it was to like to practice posting on social media to learn how that works because I've never done this before.
It's a lot of work and a lot of practice, and you get better and better at it as you keep going.
Yeah, but like I don't know if you've ever had a Crunchwrap Supreme and then tried to do 100 burpees.
I've done similar things, so I know what it works. Not that exact combo though.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have a couple nights. So this is funny. You'll get a kick out of this. I work 40 hours a week at teaching, and then I work 40 hours a week at Taco Bell. And the Taco Bells are nights and weekends. So on Sunday night at Taco Bell, I close. So I get off at 4 in the morning, and then I teach at 7 a.m. that same day. So there's a 3 hour turnaround, 30-minute drive to work. So I'm not gonna be able to sleep. And so I'm gonna do my burpees at like 4:30, like in between the two, because that'll
Okay.
be a new day. And I'm gonna do it like wearing the Taco Bell gear in a Taco Bell, like on Sundays. And uh
Nice.
I'll be filled with like chicken quesadillas and stuff. And my buddies, he pitched me the idea. He said you should get like 5 or 6 tacos, take a bite of a Taco Bell taco every single burpee you do. So you do a burpee, come up, take a bite of a taco. Burpee, come up, take a bite of a burrito for a
People
hundred.
would watch that.
Yeah, but like I don't know if I'd die.
Well, if you puke, you get like extra. Like YouTube loves puking. Like it's like if you puke, they top of the algorithm.
Really.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
And then I get fired, but it's worth it. Actually, I wouldn't even get fired because the other thing too is I'm working at this Taco Bell and we had 3 people not show up the other day, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it happens."
Yeah,
I've never worked for a job where you can just not show up and be perfectly okay.
yeah. That's in those type of jobs I've heard that's pretty common.
The guy had to close the store because I was like, I gotta leave, I gotta go home, and he's like, all right, well, my 3 people that were supposed to replace 3 that are leaving aren't here, so I have to close the store.
That's funny. Yeah. Wow. That's yeah. That's a trip. But yeah, I that's kind of a funny challenge. How long does it take you to do those 100 burpees? Or it's like sped up on the video. So
It's sped up. Okay, so that's an interesting question too because I pace myself and go about 7 minutes.
okay.
If I'm grinding out 5:20, 5:15,
Okay.
but the burpees themselves, like part of it's like I just don't want to grind. I don't want to get to I don't want to get to 100 and not be able to talk, because then I give like a post like, "Hey, thanks for joining all this." But sometimes I get the 100 and I'm like and it just doesn't make for, I don't know, as interesting a content, I don't think. And also when you're doing the same thing every day, like the motivation is a little bit less to give it like the breakneck pace because you're going to get them anyway.
And then how are your shoulders doing with this challenge? Are they holding up all right?
You know, I spasm every time I stretch. So they feel pretty good. Like I honestly, after about day 8, I don't feel sore anymore. But I notice small things like I go like this, like they're starting to spasm right now, and I like do that. Like my hamstring is tight, is spasming, or it was when I first sat down. It's a full body workout.
Hmm.
Yeah, but the shoulders, yeah.
And then so you're doing this to combat depression. Do you feel like it's helped a little bit?
Yeah, it was funny. I posted a video and someone on Instagram said, "You can't be depressed if you're too tired to think." And I don't know the scientific backing on that, but there is, from anecdotal personal experience, that I feel like there is maybe a little bit of validity to. I am so like I'm working 80 hours a week, and I'm doing these 100 burpees, and I'm not sad. I am tired, and I'm angry. And I find myself when I don't know if this is a thing for you too, but when you're like really tired, you get like really angry about things that wouldn't bother you at all if you weren't tired.
Hmm.
So a good example of that, if I like I'm working Taco Bell and if someone goes through the drive-through, if they say, "I'll just have a burrito," like okay, 2.99, and I'll just have a chicken quesadilla. Okay, $6. And I'll just have, okay, dude, it's not just if you're gonna list 9 items, just list them. And that's something that wouldn't really bother me if I'm on like 6 or more hours of sleep a night. But if I'm on two, like I had a DoorDash guy come up to me and he's like, I've been here 10 minutes. I have been waiting. And I looked at him and I was like, and you will keep waiting until we're done.
Oh, I like it. It's kind of like that funny meme where it's like I can tell my mood if I spill a glass of water. Some days it's like, oh, silly me, I'm so clumsy, and some days it's like my life is falling apart.
I was Okay, so this is before I knew I was bipolar. I was living in Montenegro and I was there for like 6 weeks. And I lost my wallet, so my parents needed to get home and mail me a new debit card before I could go anywhere. And our friends actually owned like a small hotel there. So I was staying rent free and so I didn't need to spend money cuz it had food, and I couldn't spend money cuz I didn't have access to my money. So I just had to wait there for like what was supposed to be a couple weeks, but it was like 6 or 7, and I was losing my mind because I couldn't speak to anybody, couldn't watch anything or do anything. I was just going on like 12-hour walks, and I was crossing the street one day, and this car like almost hit me. It was my right of way. It was a green arrow. It was a stoplight, and car almost hits me. And I just took off running after this car. And I'm like, I was just like chasing it. He's going like 30. I'm going like 8. He's pulling away. I'm yelling at him, like, you. And then I'm cussing at all the cuss words that I know, the best that I can think of. And I like actually hurt my throat a little bit yelling. And I had to pull myself aside and I was like, man, Brian, you're not doing okay, man. You know? And it hit me in that moment, like, okay, maybe you need to do like a mental inventory check because that was not an okay reaction.
I like that mental inventory check. I try and do that like every night before I go to sleep, and I kind of like think about like my interactions with people and like was I nice and friendly, and did I was I empathetic, and so I like the way you kind of call that like an inventory. So that's a cool way to say that.
Yeah,
It's important.
it's super important because otherwise you get in sort of a path and you get like 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 months down the road and you're like, how did I get this far?
And it's easy to have blind spots too. You know what I mean? Like it's easy to miss things that you thought were, and then like 3 weeks later, you're like, oh, maybe that wasn't optimal.
I get super excited things that I'm doing that sometimes I ask people about the things that they're doing. So like sometimes I'll go like, then I'm doing this and this and this and this is awesome. Oh, also, how are you?
Yeah, you know what's funny is when someone like is like you see people like that do that a lot, right? And then they try and like change, and so it's funny. They'll be like, "What's your favorite color?" Okay, because mine's black, so I want to tell you why, right? Like they don't even let you answer. You know what I mean? Do you ever experience this? Like, what's your favorite Italian food? Okay, I want to start. Like, I like how you asked, but you didn't. You didn't really care.
Dude, I've done that before. I've asked questions specifically because I wanted to answer them myself.
Yeah, yeah. It's a process, though. You know what I mean? Like, I get it.
Yeah.
So you're so we got the bipolar scale. You know, the 0 to 100, where 50 is steady. Where would you say you're at right now?
I'm like a 65. I'm feeling pretty good.
Oh, wow.
Getting regular food. I'm not getting regular rest, but I'm getting regular activity, and I feel like I'm pursuing a goal that I can, and I'm making some progress. We're doing social media. I'm getting some. The Patreon's up to 11 pages now, so that's
Nice.
after they take their cut. It's $49 a month. So feel free to join if you're listening.
Yeah. And then, so my follow up question is, based on what you've told me about yourself, would it be safe to assume that 65 would be like a pretty good like comfort level? Like this is optimal to kind of stay in that zone.
Yeah, I feel like I can maintain this for a while. I'm feeling pretty good. Especially because there are obstacles. Like Portland's cold and wet every single day. I don't get it. Like it's March. Stop. You know, Look at the sky behind you. That looks amazing.
It's so nice today.
Oh God. But now it's just like I'm inside all day, so it doesn't really affect me. And so I don't know how that would affect me like long term, but if I didn't have like this hyper focused goal. But I'm feeling pretty good.
And you said before that like for bipolar disorder and like especially you like idle time is one of your worst enemies.
Yes.
It sounds like you're in a good spot for that that area right now at least.
Idle time is my nightmare. So as a bipolar person, you have to stay busy all the time, or at least I do. Otherwise, I get depressed. And so at the moment right now where I'm doing everything, I can, and it's helping with the depression.
Very cool. Cool. Well, it sounds like you're in a fairly good spot, staying busy. You think about like swapping out for like a bartending job in the evenings, make a little bit more money than that.
Uh, it's hard to get 40 hours of any job. So the fact that Taco Bell was willing to give me 40 was a big selling point. And also, at Portland minimum wage, like they're paying me $17 an hour.
Okay.
So like that's pretty good
Yeah.
for well. And bartending, I'd make maybe like 20, 25, 30, but I'd get like 20 hours. And
Yeah, that's true.
I started as a busboy and work my way up, and I'm only here 3 months.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that's a lot of 80 hours a week. That's the I've heard of that before. I've never experienced it.
I'll let you know how it goes.
Cool. Well, this is a good little weekly catch up that we're able to do here. We'll be back next week, same
Yes.
place, same time.
Yep, we're experimenting with live and seeing how it goes. So hopefully one of these days we'll get a live audience to answer comments and questions. But until then,
And if you have any questions, drop a comment on this video or any of the other videos that Brian's posting, and we would love to answer and discuss them.
sounds good. All
All
right,
right.
take.
See ya.
Okay.